It has Botterillo, Evans, Nukunuku, and Rona in the infield, working from third to first. And then Thomas Anoka, Campbell Anoka, and Callan Compain in the outfield. Van Lieshout is behind the plate. And where we go, first pitch is high for a ball. So because we're finishing up this game, New Zealand and Japan will both have to play two. Bunt to the left side. They're going to try for second. They get him, and Nukunuku will hold on to it as Tokoi quickly down the line reaches first, but that bunt not as soft as he would have liked that. Allowed the third baseman to make the force out at second.
Yeah, lead play there from Botterillo at third base. Squeezing that down there, and they're attacking the lead runner, Nathan Nukunuku, in a good spot there at second base, getting the lead runner to record the second out of the innings.
Here's Hikaru Matsuda, and all he's done this tournament is crack 2 home runs and drive in 10, batting .714. Swing and a miss on the rise ball, strike number 1.
Yeah, see Matsuda there. We talked about yesterday. He's the MVP of this team, and he loves to hit the rise balls. You got to be very cautious for that. Josh Pettit's got a good rise ball, but you got to get it high like he just did then. That was out of the strike zone. Matsuda will still go for it.
Runner on first, 2 out here on the top of the third. Japan leading 1-0, and that one went the other way. Dropped for an 0-2 count. Matsuda in the hole quickly. Matsuda yet to strike out in this tournament. But he's down 0-2 here. Pitch in, and that's just a little high. 1-2 the count.
Defensively, see New Zealand playing a shift to the left side here. Nukunuku up the middle, and Evans at shortstop right round by the third base. So strategically against Matsuda, looking to try to fill those holes.
Have to be careful here with the 1-2 count. Runner goes straight to Nukunuku to the bag, and he's okay. And Tokoi beats it out, and you have to wonder if Nukunuku might have been able to make the easier play to first base to take a little time. He elected to go to second. There was 2 away.
Yeah, I think he just underestimated the speed there of Sawada coming from first base, and maybe he forgotten. Remember, we're starting midway through. It is 2 outs, and so the easy play right there is toss it over to Rona into first base.
So that'll be an infield hit for Matsuda. And now runners at first and second with Daisei Yuramoto up to the plate. Struck out looking in the second inning. That's just outside for a ball. Check down to third base to see if he offered at the pitch, and he did not. So Yuramoto batting .333 in this tournament. He's 1 for 3, has scored a couple of times. Pitch comes in, chopped to the shortstop. Nice play by Evans, and over to Rona for the out, and making sure of that third out to get New Zealand out of the inning. So a couple of hits in that inning. The Japanese score a run. They leave 2 on base. We go to the bottom of the third. It's a 1-0 lead for Japan. More to come on Sports Canada TV. 1-0 lead for Japan going into the bottom of the third over New Zealand, and a pitching change for Japan. And after a couple innings, they're going to go to number 17, Kento Okazaki, which is considered to be one of their top guys. Ayami Takahashi did a couple of innings of scoreless ball. Ozaki hasn't allowed a run. He's pitched 4 innings and allowed 2 hits, 8 strikeouts to lead the team. And his first delivery of the at-bat is a ball. Zane Van Lieshout is the leadoff hitter for New Zealand in this bottom of the third, looking for his first hit of the tournament. One-one count on the batter. Okazaki comes in high for ball number 1. Or check that, ball number 2. 2-1 is the count now. Pitch comes in, swing and a miss. 2-2. New Zealand looking for their first of the game. There's a walk to Nuku back in the first inning. Other than that, the rest of the batters have been retired. Okazaki fires it in high, and 3-2. Now, yesterday, Jason, we saw that later in the day that landing pad in the front of the pitcher's circle was an issue, so we'll have to keep an eye on that today.
Yeah, the ground crew have made some work out there, as you can see across the coverage of the game, that all those wet patches, they've put some stage eye material out there to get it ready for today. So let's see how that performs for the pitcher underfoot.
Van Lieshout draws the walk. And that'll bring Campbell Inoka up to the plate. And Campbell has done quite well so far this tournament, batting .667. He does have 4 hits out of 6 plate appearances. Turns to bunt, and that comes in for a strike, even though he pulled the bat back.
Yeah, Campbell Inoka, the line drive hitter, up to the plate here, but obviously you can see the job is to get the runner over, and that'll be his sole purpose at this at-bat. New Zealand need a strike first here to come back into this ball game. They're giving up 1 run on the top of the innings, so they'll be hungry for it.
0-1 delivery, and a swinging bunt goes behind the catcher on the foul tip, and Oka down 0-2 quickly, so there won't be a bunt attempt here with 2 strikes on the batter. Looking for a little slap hit, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah, it is. I think they just read the defense in that first bunt attempt and the way that the Japanese defense moved. They tried to catch him out there, but didn't pay off.
0-2, slap to the third base side. They'll go to second for 1, back to first, and no! They do not get the speedy Inoka down the first base line, but Van Lieshout is erased on the 5-4 throw, and Inoka will be on in the fielder's choice, and we flip to the top of the order with Cole Evans coming up to the plate. Struck out in his first plate appearance back in the first.
Yeah, fine play there from third baseman Otusi, getting it over to Sawada to get the lead runner, and just missing out on doubling up at first base. But Jason Carter, the umpire from Australia, took a long, hard look at that one, got the right call.
There's a punch through the shortstop side, and that will advance the runners. In comes the fielder. And good job by the left fielder, Morita, to scoop and run it in and hold the runners at their stations.
Cole Evans will be happy that he's in the leadoff spot for this game and replacing Ben Inoka at the top of the order. He'd be happy to get some wood on the ball there and get it through the 5-6 hole. Move the runners up. Runners 1 on 2 here. So a real big part of the ball game for New Zealand right here. Needing a strike first. And who do they go to? Their captain, of course, Nathan Nukunuku.
For Japan, they've pitched against Botswana and Turkey, so they haven't faced an opponent that can carry a big stick. So it'll be interesting to see how Okazaki works this batter. Only one out in the bottom of the third. Runners on first and second. Nuku fouls it back, swinging on the first pitch. Nuku so far this tournament, he's 3 for 4, 3 RBIs, a double and a triple. So he can put it in play. He also has drawn a total of 7 walks, including the one in the first inning. So he's a good eye at the plate. 0-1 delivery comes in. Asking if he swung. No, he did not. So make the count 1-1.
Yeah, Nathan Nuku comes with a lot of experience, and so expect them to have a very fastidious eye in the batter's box there. But, gee, that first pitch, he went underneath the drop ball. You don't see that very often, so he was just off it.
Runners on first and second, and that comes in for another ball. Fans getting louder as the inning progresses here. A decent crowd considering the temperature and time as the supporters for both teams. Okazaki stares in, a 2-1 delivery on its way. And that's outside and make it 3-1 now. And Nuku forcing Okazaki to work. Hitters count for sure.
Yeah, but it is good to see Kento Okazaki not afraid to use both sides of the plate here to try and get the advantage over Nuku. He's got to work hard, especially in this situation right now.
3-1. Pitch comes in. Nuku flies it deep right field, and there she goes off the top of the back fence. And Nuku with a 3-1 blast to give New Zealand a 3-1 lead.
Nathan Nuku, cometh the man, cometh the hour. He just got a hold of that one and gave it a ticket back to New Zealand, straight into the big fence at the top there, and he did not miss that. And when you need someone to stand up for your team, 9 times out of 10, the captain is going to be one of the guys that want to lead from the front.
That's Nuku's first home run of the tournament, and it'll double his RBI total to 6. And New Zealand jumps into the lead. Now Thomas Sanoka, the left fielder, coming up to bat here with one away in the bottom of the third. So Japan makes the pitching switch after Takahashi kept the New Zealand bat silent yesterday. And Okazaki gives up the 3-run blast.
Steve, just got passed to me a little tidbit. Kento Okazaki, the pitcher for Japan out there at the moment. He
slapped to the shortstop side, thrown to first, and they get the out for out number 2.
He played the last summer in New Zealand for the Ramblers Club there in Auckland, and the coach of that team, Nathan Nuku. So he knows him well. So, yeah, the matchup right there, obviously very familiar for Nuku in that situation. And I guess for Kento Okazaki to get better down there, but also they're going to see him a lot.
Now stepping up to the plate, 2 away, nobody on, is Brad Rona, the big first baseman. Pitch comes in for a strike. Brad Rona, 2 for 4 so far in the tournament. Has a double. Sitting with an 0-1 count. Slap to the first base side as he held up on his swing. Quickly down 0-2.
Yeah, Rona for themselves in the hole here. Got to be protective of the strike zone now. Kento, as you saw before, happy to use both sides of the plate.
That pitch fired high. Well, that's what you have when you have 2 great teams, number 1 and 2 in the world. They're going to volley back and forth. Japan opening the scoring, and New Zealand answering right back here in the bottom of the third, and now a 2-2 count on Rona. Getting shouts of encouragement from Laulu, who's on deck. Here's a pitch. Rona slaps it to the shortstop side. Nice play! Bouncing to the first baseman, and they get him. What a play by Koshikia as he made the diving stop towards the third base side and made a good throw to first.
Yeah, nothing you would expect any less from an international team, especially the world number 2. Their shortstop, Kushi Kiwa, going to his right-hand side in the 5-6 hole, making an amazing play there to throw it out runner for the third out of the innings. What a great play right there.
So New Zealand scores 3 runs on 2 hits, and the big blast coming from Nathan Nukunuku, the 3-run home run. No errors for Japan, nobody left on for New Zealand. We go to the top of the 4th. It's a 3-1 lead for the Black Sox. More to come on Sports Canada TV. We go to the top of the 4th inning, and it's going to be Naoki Kawada stepping up to the plate. Only batting .200. He's 1 for 5. Couple of walks, couple of runs scored, and a strikeout. He is the 6th batter in this Japanese lineup playing center field. Pettit going back to work in a first pitch changeup just to change things up a bit.
Yeah, Kawada, back to the typical Japanese style of toes on the front line of the batter's box there, so bailing out on that changeup.
Looking for that outside corner. Van Lieshout trying to frame that for the umpire, but it's a ball.
Yeah, a little too high there. Good call. A good plate umpire today, Gallup de Solmez from Germany, and he's doing a great job.
1-1 count on Kawada. Fired in high, goes to 2-1. Jason Carter of Australia at first, Brian Sonak of the U.S. at second, Carlos Falcon, Venezuela at third, and Vladimir Lis for the Czech Republic working the pitcher's clock here today. Of course, the same tandem that was here to start the game yesterday in the rain. 2-1 delivery and a swing and a miss by Kawada. We go to 2-2. Crisp this morning, overcast sky, but no precipitation, so that's nice. Everybody staying dry. Now a discussion from the New Zealand team. 2-2 on the batter. What are they discussing here?
Yeah, solid strategy against the batter here, making sure that they're all on the same page. And Kawada, they'll have a book on him on what they want to do, and the senior leadership group there getting together and just making sure either that or just what did you have for breakfast?
They're all smiling, so. Pettit settles in, looks in for the signs. Sequence is given. And in comes the pitch, and that was a good call. Strikeout for Kawada for the first out of this top of the 4th.
Yeah, nice pitch by there. They set their strategy, obviously wanted to go down and away, and Pettit hitting his assignment there, getting the reward.
So now Karaoka is stepping to the plate. The catcher for this Japanese team. He's the second leading hitter, .750 average. Nobody on for Japan at this point in time, down by a couple of runs. Karaoka does have one home run in this tournament.
Yeah, not easy to leader behind the dish, but he's one of the leaders in the team with the second highest batting average at .750, so he can get it done with the bat for sure.
1-1 delivery, and that's going to come in for a strike. Good location there, 1-2.
Just see New Zealand also utilising that alternative defence where they had Nuku from second base up close there before, but now with 2 strikes, moving back into his normal position.
There's a punch towards the pitcher. Pettit blocks it. Nice little flip to Rona. So on the 1-3 play, Karaoka is erased for the second out of the inning. Koshikia, the shortstop, now coming up to the plate. And 1 for 2 in the tournament. He's drawn 3 walks so far.
Just off night, though, on that play, that comeback hit Josh Pettit in his right leg, just below the knee. He says he's okay.
Nice delivery there. And with the shortstop up for Japan, New Zealand setting a defense that's in a little bit, watching for the slap attempt possibly. Nuku now backing up a little bit. No, now they're encroaching, so that close-up defense. And that's popped up, and that's going to come out of play near our location. And that will go to an 0-2 count on the batter.
Yeah, just looking at New Zealand's defensive setup, not only do they have the second baseman up, but the shortstop is shading towards third base. So there is quite a hole between Nuku and the shortstop there, Cole Evans. However, I guess the way they've got a plan, that's where they feel their avenues of strength are for Japan, and they're targeting that.
Now with an 0-2 count, the defense backs up a little bit. Nuku talking to his pitcher. That's the one thing when you're teaching kids playing the sport is don't be afraid for constant communication, because someone may see something that you don't, and it's good to relay the message. 0-2. And that slips out of the hand of Pettit as he seemed to land a little awkwardly, and again dusting up that landing area.
Yeah, we mentioned before they put a bit of stay dry out on the field this morning to soak up any remaining moisture, and sometimes they can get a bit sticky, and they'll just need to work through that.
Swing and a miss on the riser, and that will do it for Koshikia. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. In the bottom of the fourth, it remains 3-1 New Zealand over Japan. We go to the bottom of the fourth. More coming up in Sports Canada TV. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, New Zealand leading 3-1, and stepping up to the plate is the designated player, Wayne Laulu. He is 2 for 5 in the tournament. He does have 3 walks as well and 1 strikeout, 1 home run. There's a pop-up. That'll get out of play. He grounded out to the third baseman in the second inning. And Laulu definitely very emphatic when he swings the stick.
Yeah, he's an animated person. Obviously, he's built with a lot of power there, and his bat speed is something to be seen, that's for sure.
And that will roll into the backstop, 1-1.
You can see here the New Zealand hitters have obviously been instructed to be very aggressive in this game. They're going straight away at the pitcher, try and get them off their rhythm.
Okazaki in his second inning of work fires it in for a strike. Wayne nods in agreement, and he's down 1-2. That's popped out of play, stays alive. Team from South Africa starting to file into our right. They'll play Hong Kong following this game, scheduled to start at 10 a.m. Of course, that may change depending how long this contest goes. 1-2 on Laulu. That's fired in low for 2-2 now.
Yeah, Laulu, he might be a power hitter, swings fast, but he'll only do that on the strike, so he's a cautious hitter as well.
2-2 pitch comes in, slammed down the third base side, foul, and making Okazaki work here. First batter of the bottom of the fourth inning. Looks like Japan's bullpen is getting up here, starting to work.
Yeah, Japanese, like we mentioned yesterday in the broadcast, they're very similar to a baseball team. They will have someone up all the time, maybe two guys up at once. They are not afraid to use their whole pitching staff. Number 22 down there is warming up, and that's Yuki Mori.
2-2, Laulu watches it coming high. I love the way how Laulu keeps his eyes on the pitcher at all times. Even when the striker ball is called, his eyes are still on the pitcher, just focused. And now he's got a 3-2 count. Okazaki will walk Laulu.
Yeah, he loves the competition, doesn't he? He loves the contest, does Laulu, and you can see right there he let the pitcher know, thanks for giving me the walk, buddy. I'm heading down to first base.
Colin Campaign now up to bat for New Zealand. He has 6 RBIs in the tournament, 2 for 4, batting .500. He grounded out to the second baseman back in the second, but now has a runner on to try to advance. Okazaki. Bunt is shown, and Campaign couldn't make contact. Very difficult thing to do, Jason, the short game, but so crucial in these situations.
Yeah, and you know what? If there's any team that can diffuse the short game, it is Japan. They're probably the best fielding team here at Whitehorse.
Foul ball on Campaign, and he'll go down 0-2 quickly as Okazaki finding his stride.
Laulu's not a threat to steal at this point.
0-2 pitch. Campaign to third, picked up on a hop to 2-1, and they get the double play. Short hop nicely by the third baseman Atozi, and a good turn at second, and the double play erases Laulu and Campaign.
Yeah, fine example of their elite fielding from the Japanese team there. There's a very difficult double play, and they made that look simple. They're just so agile, and Atozi is the epitome of that. Down nice and low, quick transfer, get the throw over to two to help out.
So with 2 away, Tyrone Botarillo up to the plate, and he's had a fantastic tournament so far, Jason.
Botarillo is on fire. We interviewed him yesterday after the stoppage of the match, but he is hitting .800, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. You don't get any hotter than that.
In fact, 4 for 5 so far this tournament, and all 4 hits have been home runs. Flew out to the center fielder back in the second inning of this contest. Now 2-1 on the batter. Have to be careful with number 46. Okazaki trying to nibble away at the corners. 2 pitchers warming up down in the Japanese bullpen. There's a shot, Botarillo, deep center field, and the fielders will watch that one sail, and oh my goodness, the 5th home run for Botarillo in this tournament. It's a solo shot to give New Zealand a 5-1 win, or 5-1 lead, pardon me.
Botarillo doesn't know how to do anything but hit home runs. That thing sailed over the second fence over there, and that just confirms why he's at the top of the batting. He's the top batter in this tournament at the moment at .800. He is sending those things on a plane ticket out of here.
So 4-1 the score now for New Zealand on that solo shot by Botarillo. And that'll bring up the catcher, Zane Van Lieshout, grounded out to the, or erased on the fielder's choice back in the third. He walked and takes a first ball. Okazaki, change up, and gets Van Lieshout swinging through that. Pitch sails in high, 2-1 now. And New Zealand, after the break from yesterday's game due to weather, coming out firing here. There's a strike on the inside corner, and that goes 2-2. Looked like the umpire wanted to punch out the batter, but it was only the second strike. It was a great pitch on the inside part of the plate. 2-2. Comes in. There's the third strike. Van Lieshout is out. He thought the catcher dropped the ball, but the home plate umpire said no. And that will do it for the bottom of the fourth inning. So a walk erased on a double play, then Barterillo with a solo shot. So one run comes in on one hit. There was nobody left on, no errors for Japan. We go to the top of the fifth, 4-1 New Zealand. More to come on Sports Canada TV. Here to the top of the fifth inning, a 4-1 lead for New Zealand. And it's going to be Yusiki Itozi as the batter here to lead off the Japanese attack. He got on base with an error in the third inning, then came around to score on Mira's pinch hit single, and that's the lone Japanese run. Itozi, 1 for 3 in the tournament with a double. Pitch comes in, swing and a miss.
Yeah, Tozi's shown us his fine defensive skills here, and I'm sure he would love to ignite his national team with a solid base hit or running bunt, at least to get on first base.
0-1 pitch, that comes in high. Even the count's at 1. That one sails on Pettit, and again looks at that front of the pitcher's circle. Nuku coming in to talk to his teammate.
I think with that stay dry material that they put on there, it kind of masks what's underneath, and I guess he's just trying to make sure he's getting sound footing. Really important. Don't want to hurt anyone. Need control out there.
Well, it's a lot, I don't want to say dustier, but it moves around a lot, right? It doesn't pack down, so once you start landing and moving it and shifting it, it loosens up that dirt. You could see that landing foot sliding a little bit. 3-1 count on Itozi now.
Yeah, Tozi's doing everything that's needed as a leadoff at this point. Lots of pitches. Got himself in a hitter's count.
It's all about getting runners on, and he swings through that one, make it 3-2.
Yeah, I think he'd like to have his head a little more stationary on that last swing. That would have helped a bit, but it's good to be aggressive in that count.
Van Lieshout getting some directions from the dugout as he looks over to the third base side. He'll get the signs. Sometimes the catchers will call the batter. Sometimes it's the coaching staff that will help out. That's lifted deep to right field. and play a ball, and Compain will haul it in for the first down of the inning on the long fly ball.
Yeah, Yusuke Tosi almost got his team ignited right there. He got that one in the middle of the bat, but as we've mentioned before with these Japanese hitters, because they're so close to the plate and they open their hips early, anything on the outside is really hard for them to get some power to it. So I couldn't even get it to the warning track, but good location and good strategy from New Zealand.
Looks like we have a pinch hitter here for Japan, and it's looks like number 19 or 18. It's number 19. Oh, sorry, no, it is the leadoff batter. It's Yusuke Morita. So he's 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out to the second baseman in the first inning and a strikeout in the third. From our vantage point, tough to see the uniform numbers. Trying to catch them on the deck, on the on-deck circle to make sure the lineups stay as is. Of course, the team's not afraid to substitute players at a moment's notice to work the statistics. 0-1 count on Morita. And that slapped to the third base side, but well foul. 0-2 now on Morita. Short, compact swing by the batter.
Yeah, not even a short, compact swing, but a short, compact straight zone. His crouch is nice and low, and so he gives them the best possible chance to get a good pitch to hit.
0-2 delivery on its way. And that's too high. Make it 1-2.
Yeah, for you viewers at home, it might look quite dangerous. You see with as he's sitting up to bat, his hands are right in the middle of the strike zone. Be quite a scary situation. But they're used to it. They open earlier, we were talking about.
Looking for the outside corner, and that's just outside, 2-2. Van Lieshout giving Pettit a good target there. That's poked to the third base side and hauled in by Botterillo in foul territory, and that's going to be the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Sawada. The second baseman struck out back in the first. He was lifted for a pinch hitter in the third, then re-entered into the game as a runner and returned to his first base location, and now he'll take the at-bat here.
Yeah, Sawada, he'd be happy to be back in the ball game here, and he'd be looking to repay his coach's confidence in him with a favor in the batter's box.
Sawada hasn't had a bad tournament so far. He was batting .500 coming into the game. He also scored 5 runs, so he's been able to get on base and make his way around. But now with 2 out, trying to get back on. And that one just outside.
New Zealand going to that alternate fielding defense structure here, and Nuku coming right up by the pitcher and with the third baseman to try and eliminate that running bunt slap situation.
Here's a delivery and shot through that shortened defense, and Sawada is on base with the single, and even the shortstop was in close, and Sawada able to tear it through the hole. So runner on with 2 away, and that's going to bring up Tokoi.
Yeah, good bit of hitting by Sawada. That is the only location that is open in that defensive pattern, and you've got to put a full swing on it as he did, and he drove that with ease through the middle of the diamond, straight out to the outfield, and Sawada deservedly makes his way to first base.
So Yusuke Tokoi, the right fielder coming up, he singled back in the first, hit in a fielder's choice in the third, stranded on base both times. So has a runner on with his team down by 3 runs here in the top of the 5th. Pettit's delivery, Tokoi will swing and take the strike.
Yeah, very important that Pettit stays on his assignment here with 2 outs and not be too frazzled with the runner on base.
0-1 delivery, swing and a miss. A little bit of speed taken off that one on the outside part of the plate. Tokoi fooled and is down to 0-2 quickly.
Sawada is a threat to run, so you got to be cautious. You could see him take off at any time, as we see Kamilanoka coming in from the outfield. Maybe some equipment failure out there or something. We'll soon find out.
Well, he's gone to the third base dugout, and are we going to have a substitution here? No, here comes Anoka. Defensive timeout, so Anoka did what he needed to do. Will trot back to center field. Seems to be okay.
Plate umpire Solmeers from Germany. Happy with that. Ready to rock and roll. With 2 outs here, this is the guy you want with Matsuda in the warm-up circle.
Tokoi able to hold up on that one as it came in.
The last thing New Zealand would like to see here is 2 runners on with their deadly Matsuda up to bat.
Trying to get out of this inning. Defense playing straight away. Tokoi shortening up on the grip on his bat. And pitch to the outside. And now 2-2 on the batter.
Yeah, Tokoi working well there, making Pettit work for every spot. He knows right over the inside of the plate, and New Zealand, are they tempted to go in there? We'll find out.
Sawada at first base. Again, the short grip. Swing and a miss on the outside part of the plate. And Pettit able to get out of it. The swinging strikeout will take Japan out of the inning. So they had no runs on 1 hit. A runner left on base, no errors for New Zealand. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 4-1 lead New Zealand over Japan. More to come on Sports Canada TV. Going into the bottom of the 5th, we have a pitching change for Japan as Yuki Mori comes in to relieve Okazaki. And Yuki Mori will face Campbell Inoka, the 9th hitter of the New Zealand batting lineup, to start things off. And first pitch delivered is a ball. Pitch comes in, an illegal pitch is called by the first base umpire. And does that have to do with the footwork?
Yeah, well, he's just saying the back foot is moving a bit too much for him. He'd like him to be a little bit more stable, where you've got to be touching both feet on the block to start your pitching sequence.
So that's a ball, 2-0 and 3-0 on Inoka. It appears this is Yuki Mori's first pitching appearance. No statistics on the Japanese pitcher, and doesn't seem to have the velocity of his counterpart Ozaki, and delivers a walk to Inoka, so he'll get on base, and that'll bring up Cole Evans, the shortstop. 1 for 2 on the day, a strikeout looking, and a single in the 3rd.
Yeah, Yuki Mori, not the way he would like to come into this World Cup campaign with 4 straight balls. And I see the Japanese have 2 pitchers up now, 1 righty, 1 lefty.
There's a snap on the ball, and that just missed for ball 1.
as we mentioned, Japan like to use all of their pitching staff. They have faith in the whole lot. They brought them here for a reason, and they'll give everyone a shot.
Yuki Mori brings it into the zone, strike number 1. Pitch sails high, and Oka is going to scamper to second on the wild pitch. And now there is a runner in scoring position, and Evans with a 2-1 count. The catcher, Karaoka, going out to talk to his pitcher.
Yeah, Karaoka, a wise choice here to just go out there, settle down his pitch. He's only thrown 1 strike and 7 pitches so far. He'd liked him to be more efficient. And so just give him a chance to take a breather here and get him back on the page. And, one thing I just can't get past here for Japan is back home for them it's 32 degrees at the moment. And this morning it feels like it's about 3 or 4 degrees. So it's quite a difference for the Japanese pitchers. And I don't know if that's affecting them, but it's definitely something to overcome.
Here's a pitch for a strike as Evans swung through it. That'll leave in the count at 2-2. New Zealand trying to tack on another run here, fouled off by Evans. Up by 3. And if you can chip away at a couple more, making it more difficult for Japan. Evans waiting for the pitch, waits on the changeup, and the only play to first base. So Evans does his job and gets Campbell and Oka over to third. Evans erased on the 6-3 play for 1 out, and looks like Nukunuku coming up to the plate now. And all he did in his last time at bat is jack a home run.
3-run shot.
Also has a walk in this game, so officially 1 for 1, and he is a runner at third with only 1 out. So, and as a left-handed batter, looking for that pull in between first and second to help drive that run home.
Yeah, interesting enough too, the center fielder is shading a little bit to the left field side, which is unusual with a left-handed power hitter up, but I guess they have their own book on Nukunuku and they'll play them the way they see fit.
One, where to locate the pitches, right? So if you try to keep it on the outside part of the plate, off-field hit is more likely, but Nukunuku, if he just slaps a little flare over the second baseman's head, that's going to drive in the run. 2-1 the count on the New Zealand captain right now. And Nukunuku drives it deep center field, and goodbye. And that will be a 2-run shot as he grabs his second home run of this game.
Yeah, can you say player of the game? And Nathan Nukunuku, oh my goodness, he is locked in right now. And if you want to see what it is to be a leader, just look at the face of number 12, Nathan Nukunuku. He's giving his team the best possible chance to be successful this week.
So with that home run, 5 RBIs on the day, a lot of bases under his belt, and now the score starting to widen, a 6-1 lead for New Zealand. And coming up to the plate now, Thomas Anoka. He's 0 for 2 on the day, flew out to the shortstop of the first and a grounder to the shortstop in the third. Takes a first pitch ball.
Yeah, Yuki Mori, it's a tough task here. There are no breaks in this New Zealand lineup. But quite noticeable, normally you would see maybe a manager come out of the dugout and have a word to him, or maybe look at making a change mid-innings. But the Japanese ethos is to not do that within the innings. They normally like to make their pitching changes in between innings.
1-2 the count now on Thomas Anoka. Mori looking in, sends in an off-speed pitch and had Anoka out in front a little bit. Got a piece of it, stays at 1-2.
Yeah, that pitch there from Yukimori, I think, is something he should utilise a bit more. Trying to keep the New Zealand batters off balance by utilising a change-up a little bit more here.
Looking for the appeal down to first base, and first base umpire Jason Carter says no swing, so that's 2-2. And swing and a miss. Thomas Sanoka acknowledging a good pitch from the Japanese hurler. And that is the second out of the inning on the strikeout. Now Brad Rona stepping up to the plate, has grounded out to the shortstop twice. The last time, Koshiakia making a beautiful stop to his right towards the third base side and threw out Rona. Takes a first pitch ball. Hong Kong and South Africa on this diamond. Next, Lance Wynn and Joe Todd getting set to call that game as Rona takes a strike. And on diamond number one will be, following the Dominican Republic Australian game, it'll be Denmark and Turkey. Rona with a pop-up to the right field side. Second baseman backs up, will haul it in as Sawada makes the play. Rona officially gone on the F4 for the third out of the inning. So for New Zealand, they get 2 runs on 1 hit. There was a walk involved. No errors for Japan, and nobody left on for New Zealand. 6-1, Black Sox over Japan as we go to the top of the 6th inning. More to come on Sports Canada TV. We go to the top of the 6th inning, a 6-1 lead for New Zealand over Japan, and the leadoff batter, Akuru Matsuda. Strikeout back of the first and a single in the third, the leading hitter on this Japanese squad. And it's Josh Pettit back out to work the 6th here. He's had a good game so far. Only the 1 run in, and that was unearned. So Pettit will settle in. Matsuda gets ready and takes the ball for the first pitch. Big battle here between the number 1 and 2 teams in the world, and both in Section B. Expected to be the number 1 and 2 here in the pool. Venezuela a solid third as Matsuda swings through it. Of course, big matchup coming up this afternoon with New Zealand and Venezuela. Scheduled 4:30 Pacific today, so 2 tough games for New Zealand. Botswana and Czech Republic later today too, and that's going to be a huge contest for that 4th spot in this section as Matsuda takes a second ball.
Yeah, Pettit being cautious here. We mentioned Matsuda is the best hitter in this team, and deservedly so. So as Matsuda waits to the crowd, Pettit gets set to roll.
There's a shot straight back to the pitcher. Pettit blocks it, makes a good throw to Rona, and Matsuda is erased 1-3. And, you know, that's a tougher play than it looks, Jason, because to block it and then regroup yourself to make a good throw, and they get the out.
Yeah, Josh Pettit, very cool customer there. Quite easily a pitcher could boot that when it comes off them like that. That's twice he's been hit with a comebacker. Seems to be taking it in his stride. However, New Zealand, as a precautionary measure in the bullpen they have up at the moment, Nick Hayes, and the left-handed option, Carl Gone.
So with one away, Yuramoto to the plate. Struck out looking back in the second and grounded out to the shortstop in the third. Straightaway defense for New Zealand. Pitch to the outside. 1-1.
Interesting, Japan has no one up in the bullpen at the moment, considering the way Yuki Mori's innings went last innings, but I guess they have a strategy behind that as well.
Japan scheduled to play Great Britain a little later today. And that one sails in high, make it 2-1. In fact, Japan ends with Great Britain, Czech Republic, and Denmark in the round robin, so I don't want to say anything's easy, but definitely not as challenging as the New Zealand squad. 2-1 pitch, and that'll be fouled off on the third base side.
Yeah, don't be fooled. This is their target of this round robin play is New Zealand by getting the easy victory over Venezuela for not being here and getting the 7-0 win at that point. But if they can get up here and beat New Zealand, they will secure the #1 spot in Pool B, and that'll be a big kudos for Japan. Especially for the crossover. The crossovers will work when we get to playoff time. And don't be fooled here. It might be 6-1 to New Zealand, but this game is not over. This is the world #2 team in Japan. They have a lot left in the tank.
2-2 the count on the batter right now. One away in the inning. And that gets away from Pettit there. Not happy with that delivery, and it pushes the count to 3-2. And I know in my experience, Jason, as the foul ball comes sailing over from the other diamond, is if you give a good team a slight opening, they tend to push right through it. So New Zealand not taking anything for granted at this point. 3-2 count on the batter. And slapped past the second baseman, Nuku. That one took a high chopper, bobbled by Compain in right. And Yuramoto takes advantage of that to go to second, so it's going to be a solid single. And with the error in right field, allows Yuramoto to dance to second. So now Kawada coming to the plate. He was hit by a pitch back in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth, and he has a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, with one out, with a heck of an at-bat there from Yuramoto. It was just what the Japanese team needed. And as you mentioned, if you give them a whiff, they will take advantage. They did that on Compain's fielding there and bobbling the ball. He went straight to second without hesitation.
Still only one out in the inning. Kawada digs in. One of the few right-handers in this Japanese lineup. Slaps it to the third base side. Nice move by Bartorillo and smooth play by the third baseman. Looked back the runner at second and had time to throw it to first for the second out.
Yeah, Bartorillo, not only is he on fire with the bat, but also in the field. That was a very, very good play. He was good, had to go a fair way to his left-hand side to scoop that ball on a hard hit ground ball, but keeping that runner at second base in that play, that's key.
So Karaoka, the catcher for Japan, stepping up to the plate. Fly out to left field and a ground out to the pitcher in the fourth. So he's 0 for 2 on the day. And now New Zealand discussing their defensive strategies to make sure everybody's on the same page. Nuku making things known.
Yeah, the benefit of having Nuku and Rona out there in the infield, it's like basically having your head coach out there. So there's no need to call any conferences or timeouts from the dugout. These guys are able to take care of that business on the field themselves.
Misses for a ball on the outside.
Just looking down at the Japanese bullpen, number 22, Yuki Mori, is back up. So he pitched the last innings, as you know. So they're keeping him warm. It is cool here. Remember, the 32 degrees back in Japan. So he'll need to stay warm so he doesn't cause any injury.
Slap to the second baseman's side. Nuku makes it look easy and on the 4-3 putout will take Japan out of the inning. So no runs. They had a hit, an error for New Zealand, and a runner left on for Japan. It's still the 6-1 lead for New Zealand as we head to the bottom of the sixth. More to come on Sports Canada TV. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning, and Wayne Laulu will be the leadoff batter for the third time of this game. He led off in the second, led off in the fourth. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. New Zealand sending Laulu, Compain, and Butterillo to the plate this inning for the first trio. Maury is back in the pitcher circle and delivers a ball for the first pitch of the at-bat.
Japan have got another pitcher up now, left-handed option. He's warming up to give them some insurance just in case.
Pitch on the inside. Two and 0 on Laulu. That's too far inside, and a catcher calling for an outside pitch. It came inside, and it hit the umpire, and good on the catcher to look back and say, "You okay?" So, missed mark there for Murray.
Gallup Solmers from Germany, the plate umpire there, didn't even move. They make him tough in Germany, right?
3-0 pitch comes in. That's going to miss high. Laulu picks up his second walk of the inning, or of the game, pardon me. And that's going to bring up Callan Compain.
I'd be surprised if there's a pinch runner come on here for Laulu, possibly with no outs in the top of the sixth innings.
They're looking to the dugout because right now 6-1 lead. If they score a couple of more, then that's the run-ahead rule in this game. And they're going to get a pinch runner here for Laulu. So we'll take a moment here as New Zealand gets its offense set. So Kyle Compain looking to do something here when he gets an opportunity. Bobbled the ball back in the top of the sixth to allow the runner to advance, and it's going to be Josh Harbrough running out to play first, or to run at first in position of Laulu.
Yes, Harbrough comes from the Christchurch, one of the Christchurch Association down there, but he's got long legs and he runs very, very quickly.
So Compain up to the plate. We get back to it, and the changeup misses. Any chance of sending Harbrough here on a steal, or do you let the bats work?
No, I think they'll put him into motion. New Zealand will be aggressive here. Remember, Japan are a very effective defensive side, so they'll only do it in a situation that allows advantageous to the runner.
2-0 the count on Compain. Holds up on that one, and quickly 3-0 on the New Zealand batter. And on deck, Bartorillo, who could end the game with one swing of the stick.
Wouldn't be the first time this week, right?
3-0 count comes in, and that misses on the inside, so the second walk issued by Maury this inning. And with two runners aboard, Bartorillo stepping up to the plate, and now Japan will converge on the infield.
Yeah, if there was ever a chance to make a pitching change with a left-handed option in the bullpen right now against a left-handed batter, this would be the opportunity, but I don't see the manager from Japan coming out of the dugout at the moment. And like I said, they tend to leave it to the end of the innings or in between innings to make their changes. But lefty on lefty matchup right now, especially a hot hitter.
So Bartorillo officially 1 for 2 on the day, flew out to center field back in the second hit the solo shot in the fourth. 5 hits this tournament, all 5 the round trippers. Hasn't really had to run too hard on the bases. That comes in for a strike as Botterillo watches the first pitch sail by. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th either. And Botterillo pops it up. Catcher calls for it. And that one didn't sail too far, so Botterillo erased on the fly out to the catcher in foul territory for the first out of the inning. And now comes Zane Van Lieshout. Took a walk back in the 3rd, struck out in the 4th. And Van Lieshout looking for his first hit of the tournament.
Yeah, well, Van Lieshout would love to get his first hit here, and if he gets a good one, he could finish the game. So best of luck to him.
That comes in for a strike. Runners on 1st and 2nd. We are in the 6th inning.
Just off note, the left-handed option for Japan is sat back down, so looks like that Yuki Murray has got the rest of this ball game.
That sails high. Runners are going to advance on the wild pitch. And now runners at 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out. Denmark down below, getting ready for their game against Turkey on diamond number 1. Watching the result of this one. 1-1 the count on the batter now. The New Zealand catcher settles in and takes another strike, make it 1-2. Campbell Inoka scheduled to bat next, and he is on the on deck. Morey, 1-2 delivery comes in. And Van Lieshout able to hold up on that one.
Yeah, Van Lieshout's got to be composed here, and he'll know for sure that he hasn't had a hit in this tournament so far, and you've just got to back yourself.
Van Lieshout drills it through the shortstop side. They'll hold up the runner at 3rd base, and Van Lieshout with a solid single drives in Harbrough from 3rd. And 7-1 lead now for New Zealand. They've got Compain at 3rd base. So the run-ahead runner at 3rd and a single will finish the game.
Yeah, Van Lieshout got on top of that ball there and drove it through the 5-6 hole, and he would have been celebrating on his way to first base with that and getting off the duck. Sorensen choosing to put up the stop sign at 3rd base. The left fielder was in a close position. Shortstop not quite in line for the throw to home though, but I guess Sorensen being cautious there, allowing Campbell Inoka to do the job for New Zealand.
Let the bats do it. Still only 1 away in the game, and Inoka will take a strike. Well, even if you get a wild pitch or pass ball and it bounces away, runner scampers in from 3rd, so plenty of options to get that run in. Inoka would like to do it with his bat, though. And that one misses inside, make it 1-1.
Probably not a bad choice because the New Zealand batters, especially since Yuki Murray's come on, have had their way with them. So take your time here, allow the game to play itself.
Inoka takes a strike, 1-2. A little bit of a bat flip to calm the nerves. Settles in. Drives it to the gap in the outfield, and that will do it with an exclamation mark. And that will do it. Run ahead. The umpires call the game as Compain scores, and New Zealand will win it 8-1 after going down 1-0 early. Play suspends due to weather, and they come out this morning and the bats come alive. So an 8-1 final in 6, New Zealand over Japan. And Josh Pettit with a brilliant performance, some good defense behind him, but boy, did the sticks ever come alive for New Zealand.
Oh, there are a lot of good stories for New Zealand there. They just beat the number 2 team in the world, but you got to put your hand up there for young Campbell Anoka getting that line drive there. He put plenty of poo-ha into that one, as they say in New Zealand, to bring in the winning run. There's nothing like getting a walk-off hit, but you got it, Josh Pettit. Whoa. He's put his hand up. He's saying, I want to be the ace on this staff. And he put a good case forward there against the number 2 team in the world.
So officially in that 6th inning, there are a couple of walks, a couple of hits, a couple of runs, no errors for Japan as New Zealand with the run-ahead rule. And you look to the player of the game for this one, and I don't think there's any doubt.
No, there isn't. Obviously, Josh Pettit was lights out on the mound in this one, especially coming back from starting last night. But I'll tell you who took the mantle today, and you need a leader to stand up sometimes, and their captain did that for them today. And number 12, Nathan Nukunuku, boy oh boy, 2 long home runs, 5 RBIs, and he did not leave anything behind in the breakfast bar this morning.
So the final 8-1 here in Game 31 between New Zealand and Japan. New Zealand the winners of the game, just a little bit behind schedule, but be sure to